What if I told you that?
Oh my giddy aunt, it's Barny boy. It's been too long. Wait, no, not long enough. Yes, it is Mr. Nagy or Nagy or Nagy or however the hell his name is pronounced. Because I'm never going to learn. Too stupid for that. But yes, he's back, and I'm sure he is here to say something very, very smart about some such technology or event being actually fake, guys. Because he is basically the European equivalent to Hans Wormhat, and we all know how much everyone loves him.
Passenger airplanes don't use jet fuel, nor do they fly, but levitate.
If you told me that in person, I would try desperately hard not to laugh at you, fail, and fall to the ground gasping for air until I die from asphyxiation. Mostly because I wouldn't be able to believe you actually said that out loud in a public setting. That's why I tend to approach these things over YouTube, because I get the most dangerous part of me laughing out when I see the title of your videos, and by the time I actually start making one, it's gotten down to a wry amusement. I think that's best for everyone.
Let's investigate.
I figured out why he puts the hat on when he investigates. It's not him getting his thinking cap on, it's so that when he opens his mind, he's trying to make sure that the brain doesn't fall out. Unfortunately, A, that phrase isn't supposed to be taken literally, and B, it's way too late for that. That thing escaped to the Bahamas years ago, and is living out its days under the pseudonym of Juan Brainios, and is running a highly successful juice bar. Happy ending, I suppose. God damn it, I forgot about the crappy yet kind of catchy intro song. I mean, the depth of just repeating "This is not my world" over and over again, damn, really makes you think that you would be so much happier listening to a better song. Also, no, this is not your world. What the f makes you think that it could possibly belong to you? The world belongs to me, and always has, since I won it from God in a card game. He tried to get me to promise not to drink all the whiskey, but I just pointed behind him and ran away before agreeing to that shit. You think I'm stupid? Well, that's stupid.
Have you noticed that when you are traveling with an airplane?
Have I noticed when I'm traveling with an airplane? No. Can't say that I have. I've travelled on them, I've travelled in them, but never with one. I mean, where would I even keep it? It won't fit in the boot. I don't have enough bungee cords for the roof, and when I put it in the passenger seat, it just keeps trying to feel me up with one of its wings.
And the airplane is said to be at the safe flying level.
The safe flying level? We all know there's no such thing. They say that flying is the safest form of travel, but that's just what they want you to think. The real safest form of air-based transport is Cirsic trebuchet travel. You will be flung in comfort across the planet, and all the way to your destination, you will be absolutely fine. Every step of the way there, perfectly safe. Whilst the travelling portion of your journey is the thing that is happening, you'll be great. Once you land, you'll be completely f***ed, but it's a really, really safe transport before that point. Sign up today.
Then it almost doesn't move.
When you get to cruising altitude, the thing he actually meant, it's not really about safety specifically, it's mostly about fuel efficiency. It's the place where you still have lift, but much less air resistance, and thus will be able to travel much further with the same amount of fuel that a lower altitude could manage. And yes, once you get there, planes are very stable, especially during favourable weather conditions. That doesn't mean it's not f***ing moving, you absolute doofus.
It's like you were transported from one destination to the other, except of the takeoff and the landing.
Air travel is like travel, but with a bit where you get into the air. It's the stupidest f***ing thing I ever heard. Like, that's what travel is. That's what you described. Transport is the transportation of goods or passengers from one place to another. Do you f***ing hear yourself right now? I think what he meant to say is like, teleported maybe? But who the f*** knows? Maybe he genuinely thinks that the way planes work is just another conspiracy to name the thing it does something else for no f***ing reason.
Other than that, you are just pretty much in the air, not knowing anything.
You know, apart from the whole windows along the side of the craft thing where you can literally look out and see things going past you, and if you are fairly familiar with the topography of the area, you'll likely know exactly where you are and how far you've travelled and when you're likely to get there, and if you're really, really smart, you'll be able to figure out how fast you're going and distance travelled etc. All things that I am sure Barnabas is completely incapable of, so I can only assume he chooses to sit in the middle of the plane so he doesn't have to see all that scary and confusing outside stuff. Or that he's just never been on a plane and doesn't know what the f*** he's talking about because, well, that does seem fairly likely.
It actually feels like levitating. Well, it's because you are.
A, no it f***ing doesn't, and B, no you f***ing aren't. You are in fact travelling at a fairly high speed, but due to the fact that you don't really feel constant speeds, only acceleration and deceleration, you don't really feel like you are travelling at 500 miles per hour or whatever speed planes go at. Apart from in the beginning and the end, because of course, again, acceleration and deceleration. It's not that complicated, and I can't see why you would even have a problem with that, apart from the fact that you're a flat earther and the fact that if we can feel speeds like that in planes and any other vehicle that can maintain a consistent cruising speed, that's a really good indication as to why we can't feel the Earth's rotation. And you can't have that, so it must be a conspiracy or some shit.
We are being told that most of the jet fuel is actually stored in the wings.
Because it is? Where else would you put it? Because it's not like the wings are good for much else. At least, I mean, storage-wise. Because obviously they need them for, I don't know, is it to use them as giant swords to fight other aircrafts? Or whatever the hell they do with those things? But yeah, the fuel is stored in the wings. Why is that going to be a problem? Let me guess. Because of something fucking stupid, right?
But is this truly possible? Well, let's have a look.
Yes, it is truly possible, and no, your investigation is very, very unlikely to disprove that fact, because it's a fucking fact. And because your research consists almost entirely of arguments from incredulity, where you read out the facts and then go, no dog, I don't believe that, and then move on as if you've refuted it. But all you have really said is, I am a fucking moron. If you want to disprove something, you have to actually refute it. You have to prove it wrong. Not just say that it's not true because you don't like it. For fuck's sake. Christ, it is like I never left.
Here's an example, the Boeing 747.
One type of aircraft. Like, even if that one somehow didn't have fuel in the wings, so what? That would be the exception and not the rule. You would definitely have to prove that more than one type of passenger aircraft didn't store fuel in the wings for that to hold any water, or in this case, aviation kerosene. Wait, that's what it's actually called? Weird.
If you go down to the specifications, we will see that it has a fuel capacity of 48,445 US gallon.
Oh my god, are you saying that a large vehicle has a large capacity for fuel? Well, that's it. Can't be real. Everyone knows that the bigger something gets, the less it is able to do stuff. I mean, I've been getting kind of fat recently, and I can barely pull myself off the couch to screech at Jehovah's Witnesses when they come to my door till they cry. Let alone carry the bucket of feces and urines I keep on hand to throw at them.
Now here's the tank truck entry from Wikipedia, and if we go down to size and volume, we'll see.
Oh god, is he going to do it? Is he going to do the big stupid all over himself? I mean, this might actually be the first time I've seen him bother to attempt to refute something with evidence, and, well, if he says what I think he's going to say, oof, maybe you should just go back to dismissing things out of hand instead of trying to brain all over himself, because I think this is about to get extremely embarrassing.
That it holds usually between 5,500 to 11,600 US gallons.
Pfft, is that all? That's barely big enough to saw my sipping whiskey for the day. Always need one of those super tankers to follow me along the coastline with a very, very long straw if I have to travel anywhere to keep me going for at least a couple of days. That's one of the many reasons I don't bother going out. But still mostly because of the people. Yuck.
Or 20,800 to 43,900 liters.
Everybody knows that the only measurement of liquid that a British man can understand is the pint. Anything else and we just look at you confused until you tell us the equivalent in pints of beer. And then it's like, oh, right.
For the sake of the example, I looked at the Shell Jet A refueler tank truck.
Gasp! That's not shaped like an airplane wing, and they said that's where they stored the jet fuel. So therefore, it must always be stored in wings. Therefore, trucks must be shaped like wings. Otherwise, how are they supposed to be able to store the fuel at all? Look, yeah, I know it's probably not what he's going to say, but honestly, at least it would make some sense. You know, because they do say it's stored in wings, so if you think about it, or not, as the case may be.
And it looks like that would be holding about 9,000 gallons, which is about 41,000 liters.
And that isn't as much as the 40-odd thousand gallons as planes supposedly carry. Therefore, planes actually hoverboards and don't take you anywhere when you get on them. They just... Honestly, I still haven't figured out how the that's supposed to work. However, I was looking around his channel for an explanation of the hovering and I found this. And not gonna lie, it's hilarious. So let's take a look at that before we all die of bored from the numbers he's saying without understanding what the hell they mean.
And so let's have a look at this. Look at that. This plane is stationary above the mountains and the city.
Oh my god, it is! Shocked face. Look at it, it's just staying there, perfectly still, and there's nothing going on in this video at all that would rather quickly dispel the notion that that airplane is still and is in fact not absolutely moving. And that only a complete and total moron would think otherwise. No.
Right? In fact, it actually goes backwards. So how does that possible?
Well, you see, Captain Dumbass, that's possibles because the person filming it is f***ing moving, you absolute brainlet. You can see it in the video, they are clearly moving at some speed and the plane is very far away. So I believe due to the parallax effect, it makes it seem as though the plane is actually still or even moving backwards. You would understand that if you understood how the anything worked. Unfortunately for you, you are you, and you don't do that in the ever.
Well, obviously it doesn't use jet fuel as we already pointed out in a previous video, but what is clearly happening is that it is not flying, it's levitating. They can just simply stop in mid-air, no problem whatsoever.
Isn't it weird how they don't ever do that unless someone is moving relative to them at some speed? You see, that's the trick. The pilots can actually tell when a normal pedestrian is looking up at them, so they don't stop ever then. But if someone is on a train or a bus or whatever, then it's fine to do it. Anyway, let's get back to finding out how the jet fuel and wings have anything to do with this complete misunderstanding of how anything works.
Doesn't matter which one we are calculating with, but for the sake of ease, let's go with the gallons because that's what we are shown on Wikipedia.
Oh god, is he still on that part? You know what's hilarious about these videos? They are actually clipped down versions of much longer videos, but he doesn't put them on his YouTube or wherever else. No. This is very important information that's on his paid for service. And I'll be damned if I'm doing that again. Look, alright, I paid for them once. Did a kind of smash and grab, but I missed some, and there's no fucking way I'm giving him more money to do it again. That'll only encourage him. But yeah, this is only a small part, and god damn, is it dragging. Thank God for me and my annoying interruptions.
Now, 48,444 divided by 9,000. That means you need 5 of these trucks load to fill up the 747. Let's keep that in mind.
Well, aside from the fact that I am not convinced you can keep how me am doing a sitting down in your mind, it occurred to me I was taking your word on the size of that truck, and then I noticed you were basing the size of that truck on some random other number that it's impossible to know if it's accurate. I mean, it's not even for the same purpose as the one you showed, so good job on that.
Now here's the 747-400 fuel tank map. And we can see that most of the fuel is stored in the wings. There's a center wing tank as well, obviously, and at the back there's also some fuel, but most of it is stored in the wings.
Yeah, I know, that really is a shitload of fuel. I mean, if you actually understand the scale of the thing you're looking at, I don't know if you know this, but Boeing 747s are fucking massive. Not as big as the really, really big ones, but compared to like a car or say a truck, they are freaking enormous. And to take a cue from you, how about we keep that in mind?
So you're telling me that there's 5 truckloads of jet fuel in this airplane and most of it is in the wings. Give me a fucking break.
I will give you a fucking break, in that you are only saying that because you are an idiot and not because you're a lying little toe rag. You could absolutely store truckloads of fuel, literally, in the wings of those planes, because there are multiple factors to think about when comparing the two. For starters, most of the truck isn't fuel tank, so you have to take that part off. Then inside of it, especially for the kind of truck that travels, it's probably going to be insulated to protect it from various shit. And they are usually compartmentalized to boot. So as big as that truck looks, it's likely smaller than you think. And yeah, the wings of planes do look weedy compared to the fucking plane. But they also lead off into a point. As the wing gets closer to the actual fuselage, it gets a lot thicker, so shockingly can take more fuel. This is not the big boy smart brain plot hole you think it is, it's just you not actually bothering to look into it, or think for more than the time it takes to eat your own snot.
How does that fit here? Can you see that? Look at the size of this truck. It's even smaller than the truck that we have seen, the refueler truck. It's much smaller, in fact. Clearly wouldn't hold 5 truckload of jet fuel.
Clearly. I mean, measurements, checking, actually, finding out what it is you're not understanding by maybe asking an expert. No, you caught them with your big smart brain and somehow proved that the numbers they use are wrong, even though why the would that matter? No, seriously, why the would that matter? So they use half the fuel, quarter the fuel. So what? How does that change the fact that planes work the way they do? Because it wouldn't. They would just be lying about it for no reason and would still be able to charge what they charge regardless of this newfound nonsensical explanation you are positing, where planes are just fucking balloons or some shit. Anyway, you have anything else to say that might make your point sound a little less dumb?
Now here is a rough illustration that I put together. Here's the 747. They are telling us that 5 truckloads of jet fuel is going on to the Boeing 747.
Oh, well done, well done. Remarkable work, Barney. That doesn't make you look even more stupid in that you don't understand scale. No, you did it, you absolute fucking parody of a thinking person. Fuck me.
Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel Spoonstaff Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the